that I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to take you out of this situation. I'm going to come in this situation, and I'm going to walk with you every step of the way. And I will develop a strength in you, a love in you, a compassion in you, a wisdom in you. I'm going to come into your situation. And it is through the trouble that you're having in your marriage that I will make you the woman. I'll make you the man that you need to be. I'll take you through this issue that you're dealing with your child. And I'll make your heart so compassionate and tender and merciful that you will be an expression of my grace to other people that are wayward outside of the will of God, and I will overwhelm them with my goodness, and my goodness will lead them to repentance. He has a way of taking even bad things, negative things, evil things that were coming in your life that you had no ability to control, and God says, listen, my hand is on you. I've got you. I'm not going to take you out of the situation here. I'm going to come into your sick room. And while you're on your sick bed, I will build in you the character of Jesus Christ. I will strip out of your pride here, because now you got to depend on somebody to help you. When you were self-sufficient and this thing was all about you, God says, I got this. I'm trying to work, and I'll make you better after you've been through what you're going to go through. I'll strip you down to bring you back to the core, to the fundamentals of what I wanted to do in your life from the very beginning. I'm going to bring you back to the basics. I'm going to purify your heart, because you've gotten into a place where you thought that this was because you had learned a few scriptures and that you could exercise authority over demons. But God wanted you to know, I'm in control of the devil. You don't necessarily control that. I got this. He can only go so far, and he'll do nothing without God's permission to do it in your life. The devil had to get permission before he could mess with Job. And so when you begin to try to rebuke the devil when God has given him a leash, you better walk with God and let God get your heart right. And he didn't come out of that situation until God changed his heart. He was already a righteous man, but he had a little pride along with his righteousness. So God had to take him through an experience. And when he came out, Job prayed for his friends. Forgiveness came. God washed him, he purged him, he cleansed him, and God made him better. And then he had to trust him to say, you've lost everything that you got, all 10 of your children, but God gave him 10 more children. He lost all of his cattle, but God gave him more. The second end, God gave him double. He had double possessions of everything that he started out with before. And I just declare to you that if you'll just hang in there, if you'll be faithful to God, if you'll not get bitter, if you'll keep your heart right, that God will give you double for your trouble. He'll open new doors for you in this next season of your life. Even when the devil looks like he's messing, God's getting ready to bless you. I'm just telling you that God has plans for you beyond this situation. When there are situations of things that you are waiting on, our times are in his hands. You don't have the ability to speed up when God is going to move for you and bring your deliverance in your life and send your husband or send your wife. You don't have any control over certain of these things that are held in his times. And God is saying, listen, this is my time. I've got you. And I'm gonna work some things out of you so that I can work some things in you, so that I can then work some things through you. But God says, I've got you. And I'm going to use what has been a weakness to you, your inability to control this situation. And I'm going to teach you to trust me like you've never trusted me all of the days of your life. For God, he's our refuge and our strength. And he's a very present help in the time of trouble. And that's why he just said, everything that you can't control, he says, cease struggling. Stop dealing with this thing. Be still and know that I am God. He's saying you're trying to control somebody else, playing private investigator, checking through somebody's phones, going through somebody's email. God says you will never be able to straighten your mate out by trying to play detective. He says you better trust me. The only person you have the capacity to change is you. Let it go. I want you to hear the word of the Lord today. I didn't come to play patty cake with you. I'm not running for office. I'm already divinely elected. I can tell you the truth according to his word because he loves you. Set your mind free. You're giving yourself ulcers. You're staying up at night. You got your blood boiling and your blood pressure is out of control now. Cease struggling. Trust him. Rest in him. Forgive them so that it doesn't destroy you. And let God control what you cannot control, because it's in his hands. It's in his hands. God's got you. And I declare to you that God will deliver you, that this thing will not conquer you. It will not conquer you. It will not conquer you. It will not conquer you. You're in his hand. You're safe in his arms. Our God is a refuge. He's our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Your life is in trouble. I'm just telling you. There are some things that have been stressing you out and mess with your ability to sleep well at night. It's interfered with your ability to even be able to digest your food. God is saying you've been stressing over stuff that you have no power to control. He says, be still, sit down. He's saying, let your emotions and all of these thoughts and all of these worry. He's saying, listen to all of you control freaks. That you're not in control of anything. You can't stop your hair from turning gray or turning loose. Just because you cover it does not mean you've stopped it. You can't stop a ruin from coming in your stockings. You can barely stop your mascara from running. And you think you have the capacity to control who's trying to manipulate your life? Cease struggling. Cease striving. Be still and know. Some of you have lost the peace of your mind trying to work it out and figure it out and straighten it out because you're always in control. And you got to fix it because you can fix it. You're going to straighten the mess out now. And God says, sit down. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I'll be exalted in the earth. I'll be exalted even among heathen people. He said, I will be exalted. When you allow yourself to come under subjection to your spirit, peace will fill your heart and your mind. A calm will come over to your emotions, and you'll realize it's all right from here. You'll be like Moses, who went to the mountaintop and said, I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. Even when you have to say, I may not get there with you, but it's all right. It's all right. My times are in his hands. And God, whatever you want to do with me, I'm your child. God becomes the protector of those who refuse to protect themselves. When you submit yourself to him and will just be still and know that he is God and that he will be exalted. Out of the quietness of your ceasing to strive, when you stop fighting, God will start ruling in that situation in your life. Let God be God. Let God be God. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Be seated.